Okay, now we're going to review the non-continuous text section. So non-continuous texts are informational texts that do not follow a linear, paragraph-based format. Instead, they present information in graphic or diagrammatic forms, such as lists, tables, graphs, charts, maps, or forms. These texts are designed to convey data and relationships quickly and efficiently, often requiring the reader to interpret the information presented visually. So how to read and interpret diagrams, lists, tables, etc. All of this information, remember, can be found on the study guide. So if you want to go through that, have a read, you can, by all means. You can pause this video and read all the information. I'm going to skip straight to the quiz. So let's now review everything that we've learned together and let's do the quiz. So here are some practice examples. So example 1. Study the table below and answer the following question. So I'm going to read the question first, then I'm going to look at the graph. We have, which country has the highest GDP per capita and what is the literacy rate in that country? So we have the answers below. A, Australia, 99%, B, Canada, 99%, C, New Zealand, 98%, and D, UK, 99%. So remember, we're looking for the highest GDP per capita, and that's listed here. So straight away, I can see that Australia is the highest, has the highest GDP. So I'm going to go with A, Australia at 99%. Let's look at the answer here. Yep, Australia, 99. And that's because the table shows that Australia has the highest GDP per capita at USD 57,000 and its literacy rate is 99% because we're also looking for the literacy rate. Okay, so that's really good. Let's go to the next one. I'm going to read the question first. What trend is evident when, What trend is evident from the graph regarding the city's average annual temperature over the past decade? Okay, so we have the answers here. The temperature has steadily increased. The temperature has remained consistent. The temperature has steadily decreased. The temperature has fluctuated without a trend. All right, so we can see here that this is the graph, the average annual temperature in a city over the past decade. And we can see that there has been a steadily increase. Okay, so I'm going to go with A again. Yep. The graph shows a consistent upward trend in the average annual temperature over the past decade, indicating a steady increase. So let's go to the next one. Based on the graph depicting the city's average annual temperature from 2010 to 2020, identify the year when the temperature first reached 14 degrees or higher and determine the subsequent trend. All right, so here we've got the trend, we've got the graph. So we're going to have a look here. It's going up. A, 2016, the temperature consistently increased afterward. And 2017, the temperature showed a slight decline the following year before increasing again. C, 2018, the temperature fluctuated without a clear upward or downward trend. And 2019, the temperature continued to increase without fluctuation. So we can see from 2010 to 2020, at 14, first reached 14 degrees. 14 degrees is here. I'm going to say that's the year 2017. So I'm going to say 2017, the temperature showed a slight decline the following year before increasing again. Let's have a look. Yep. So the graph indicates that the city's average annual temperature first reached 14 degrees in 2017. The following year, 2018, shows a slight decrease in temperature, indicating a temporary decline before the rising trend continued. Let's go to example 4. Study the table below and answer the following question. Which city experienced the highest percentage population growth from 2015 to 2020? And how does its average annual rainfall compare to that of cities with no population growth? Okay, so first I'm going to look for the city with the highest population growth. And from what I can see here, Springfield has the highest at 22.22%, okay, but has an average rainfall of 500 millimeters. And then let's look for now the city with no population growth, which is Old City, and has an average rainfall of 400 millimeters. So I'm going to say that C is the correct answer because it shows the greatest comparison. Yep, so Springfield experienced the highest percentage growth in population at 22.22%. The average rainfall, annual rainfall in Springfield is 500 millimeters, which is significantly lower compared to Old City, which had no population growth and an annual rainfall of 400 millimeters. So I was just looking for the best comparison. All right, let's move to the next answer. The next question, sorry. So study the system diagram and answer the following question. If the processor E fails, which component will directly lose its ability to perform its primary function? So I'm going to go with A, the output device, because it cannot receive and display processed data from the processor. Let's have a look. Yep, so the output device, because it cannot receive and display processed data from the processor, and that's because the output device directly loses its ability to perform its primary function. So that's it for non-continuous text. I hope that you guys really enjoyed that, and of course there is so much more prep found at LANTITEprep.com, so many more questions and explanations to the answers that you can go through and have a look at. See you in the next video.